90% of cats over the age of 12 have arthritis. And here's the disturbing part. Only 4% of those cats ever get diagnosed. Veterinarians aren't missing it. Owners simply never notice anything wrong. This is the reality of winter cat care, because while we bundle up and crank the heat and prepare for the holidays, our cats face dangers we can't see, and they're biologically programmed to hide every sign of distress from us. Today, we're covering the winter mistakes that most cat owners make without realizing it. A common garage chemical can kill your cat in 3 hours. Heating devices in your home send cats to the emergency room every winter. And there's a holiday decoration that veterinarians call a linear foreign body because of how often it requires surgery to remove. Some of this will surprise you, some of it might scare you, but all of it could save your cat's life this winter. The most dangerous misconception starts with fur. People assume cats handle cold better than humans because they have built-in coats. And the American Veterinary Medical Association has addressed this directly. They state that it's a common belief that dogs and cats resist cold weather because of their fur, but it's untrue, and like people, cats are susceptible to frostbite and hypothermia. Dr. Kim Smith, a veterinarian with Pet Plan, actually argues that animals face greater risks during a cold snap than during extreme heat, which surprises most people. Temperature thresholds tell a clearer story. Texas A&M University's College of Veterinary Medicine warns that cats should never stay outdoors when temperatures drop below 45 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's not freezing, that's a mild autumn day in many places. 32 degrees puts every cat in danger, and 20 degrees or below creates life-threatening conditions within hours. Here's what most people don't understand about fur. It only works when it's dry. Rain, snow, or sleet soaking through a cat's coat stops all that insulation from functioning, which means a long-haired cat with a wet coat can lose body heat faster than you'd expect. Antifreeze kills more than 10,000 dogs and cats every year, according to the Humane Society Legislative Fund, and the numbers get worse when you look closer. A study from the UK's Veterinary Poisons Information Service tracked 213 cases with known outcomes, and 197 of them proved fatal. That's a 92.5% mortality rate. Cats face particular danger from antifreeze. VCA hospitals and the Pet Poison Helpline put the lethal dose at just 1 to 2 teaspoons, which is 5 to 10 milliliters, and cats are twice as sensitive to the toxic effects as dogs. The sweet smell and taste attracts them, and while many antifreeze products now contain bitter flavoring, VCA Hospitals notes that it's often not enough to stop a curious cat from drinking. What makes antifreeze truly insidious is the symptom timeline. During the first 12 hours, you might notice your cat acting drunk, showing wobbliness, lethargy, maybe vomiting. Then around 12 to 24 hours in, the symptoms dramatically improve, your cat seems fine, and you think whatever happened has passed. That's the trap, because during that quiet period, the kidneys are being destroyed. The Pet Poison Helpline puts it bluntly. In cats, the antidote must be administered within 3 hours of ingestion to work. Once that window closes, antifreeze poisoning becomes almost 100% fatal without hemodialysis. An ASPCA Animal Poison Control Center study found that most cases occur around the pet's own home, usually from improper storage or disposal, which means this isn't something that happens to other people's cats. It happens in garages and driveways just like yours. Every winter, the AVMA, the ASPCA, and veterinary clinics across the country repeat the same warning about car engines. When temperatures drop, outdoor cats, strays, and ferals search for warm places to sleep, and one of the warmest spots they find is under your hood. The ASPCA puts it simply, cats sometimes sleep under car hoods to stay warm, but the fan belt can injure or kill them when the motor starts. The Chastain Veterinary Medical Group describes what happens next. When the engine roars to life, the sudden vibration and noise causes the cat to jump or fall into the fan or the belt and pulleys, and the results are often disastrous. The fix takes 5 seconds and costs nothing. Before starting your car on a cold morning, bang on the hood a few times and honk the horn, giving any hidden cat a chance to escape. Trying to keep cats warm indoors creates new problems that most people never anticipate. Nearly 1,000 home fires each year are accidentally started by pets, according to the National Fire Protection Association and the American Red Cross, and space heaters cause about 1/3 of all winter house fires, along with 80% of winter heating fire deaths. Cats aren't usually the ones knocking over heaters. but they are drawn to heat sources in ways that hurt them. Human heating pads create a perfect example of hidden danger. Standard heating pads reach temperatures between 110 and 160 degrees Fahrenheit, according to PetScare, while a cat's normal body temperature sits around 102 degrees. That gap is where burns happen, and cat-specific heating pads exist precisely because they operate at much lower wattages, just 4 to 6 watts compared to 15 to 60 watts for human versions. Electrical hazards add another layer of risk. PetPlace points out that cats may chew through cords or pads and end up electrocuting or burning themselves. Fireplaces require their own precautions. The NFPA and American Red Cross recommend a pet-free zone of at least 3 feet. And here's something people forget. Glass doors and screens stay dangerously hot for several hours after the fire goes out. Winter dehydration catches almost nobody's attention because we associate thirst with summer and heat and panting. But here's what actually happens when temperatures drop. Cold air holds less moisture than warm air, and Coastal Pet Products explains that when humidity drops, the air pulls moisture from whatever it can find, including your pet's body. Indoor heating makes this worse because your furnace or radiator dries out the air in your home, and that dry air dries out your cat. 4 ounces of water per 5 pounds of lean body weight per day is what the Cornell University Feline Health Center recommends, which means a 10-pound cat should drink roughly 1 cup of water daily. Dehydration shows up as lethargy, weakness, poor appetite, dry gums, and sunken eyes. WebMD describes the skin tent test as another indicator where you gently pull up the skin on your cat's back and watch what happens. If the skin doesn't immediately fall back into place, that's a warning sign. Meowtel recommends keeping indoor humidity levels between 45 and 55% during winter, which benefits your cat and your own comfort. That 90% statistic from the beginning tells a story that every cat owner needs to understand. A study published in Today's Veterinary Practice found that 90% of cats older than 12 years showed radiographic evidence of osteoarthritis, but only 4% of those cases received any mention from either the owner or the veterinarian. The explanation comes down to evolution. Hill's Pet Nutrition explains that cats developed this tendency to disguise discomfort as a holdover from their days in the wild, where showing illness or injury made them targets for predators. Scientific American describes cats as masters at masking their feelings and intentions, possibly because their evolutionary history as solitary hunters rewarded secrecy. Cold weather makes joint problems worse because when temperatures drop, the synovial fluid that lubricates joints thickens, according to South Highland Pet Hospital, making movement more difficult and more painful. The detection gap is staggering when you see the numbers side by side. One study of 100 cats over 12 years old showed 90% with arthritis on x-rays, but only 13 owners reported noticing any lameness at all. A tool called the Feline Grimace Scale was developed by researchers at the University of Montreal and the University of Calgary to help with this exact problem. It offers a quick, reliable way to assess pain in cats by examining facial tension. Dr. Daniel Pang, one of the developers, says you can walk up to a cat, look at its face, and make an assessment within seconds if you know what to look for. December brings seasonal dangers that spike emergency room visits every year, and lilies top the list for cats. Dr. Anna Brutlag, assistant director of the Pet Poison Helpline, states that lilies including tiger, Asiatic, stargazer, Easter, and daylilies are the most dangerous plants for cats. 1 to 2 leaves or flower petals is enough to cause sudden kidney failure, and that's not an exaggeration. Poinsettias carry a fearsome reputation that they don't deserve, since they're only mildly toxic and cause mouth and stomach irritation at worst. Tinsel tells a different story entirely. The Pet Poison Helpline warns that if a cat swallows tinsel, it becomes what they call a linear foreign body, and as the intestines contract and move, the string can slowly saw through the tissue, causing severe and potentially life-threatening damage. $2,500 is the average cost to treat a string ingestion, according to DVM360. Chocolate emergencies spiked dramatically in December, with nationwide pet insurance data showing a 182% increase in chocolate-related claims during the final 2 weeks of the year and treatment averaging over $800 per case. Liquid potpourri creates a danger that catches people off guard. Those scented oils in simmer pots might smell like the holidays. But the Pet Poison Helpline warns that even a few licks can cause severe chemical burns in a cat's mouth, along with fever, difficulty breathing, and tremors. Dr. Michael Bailey, president of the AVMA, put it simply in a statement this December. The best gift you can give your pet this holiday season is the gift of good health and safety. That means keeping seasonal hazards out of reach and recognizing that your cat won't tell you when something hurts because a million years of evolution taught them silence. Fur isn't enough protection, warmth can become dangerous, and the chemicals in your garage could have a 3-hour countdown running that you don't even know about. Cats suffer silently, and that's not a metaphor, it's biology. The only way to protect them is knowing what they can't tell you. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing, because we cover the things about cats that most people never think to ask about until it's too late.